Um, all right. All right. I think guys, for you to find the job will be really easy. Really like 100%. It's when I look at you guys, I see very smart people. So I think when you'll be in the market, it will be easier. Okay, like it's just words, but I think it's gonna be easier. Yeah, because the thing is that like there are calls right now. It was not like this like few months ago, 1 or 2 months ago. I think it's getting better. And the other point to mention is that it's not gonna be easy if you don't put efforts. If you're not putting efforts, it's never easy. Yeah, and I think
Enough knowledge and be confident that
yeah, sometimes if you don't have enough knowledge, for example, for some of the interviews that I have right now, I don't have enough knowledge for a few things. You know, I'll not tell which interview exactly, specifically, but it was morning. I wake up and the interview was planned to be at 10:30. At 10:30 a.m. It was some time ago, and then it was planned to be at 10:30, and the person between me and the company, he called me to make sure that I woke up and I'm ready. I didn't pick up the call because I was not confident, and then I just texted him or her, okay, let's reschedule it because I don't feel myself really prepared. I want to like do my best and show best of my representation, but then they told me like, no, we can't do it because this company is a good company, and if we're gonna do reschedule, we had a lot of reschedules already, and we cannot do one more because um, they like they changed my mind, and then I did that interview, and it went really well. So there are some times when you are not confident, but you can do it. Or there are some times when you don't have enough knowledge, but if you put some effort, you can do it. At least you tried.
For having enough knowledge at the first, it's me to understand it. Yeah, it's me.
And how they can, for example, there are so many candidates. How they?
And by the way, it was like not really difficult. I was expecting something really difficult, but what the question was, coding question. Like you will not believe me ever, but the coding question was the easiest one. I don't know, maybe it was just filtering basic things, because to filter out some like fake people, maybe the question was easier than easy. Like create a method to reverse a string. Imagine, it was a long time ago, but the method, I wrote it like in like 1 minute and 30 seconds or maybe less. And then they asked some edge cases. What's an edge case? Edge case is a moment. You know what's an input, right? Input. Input is something that goes inside the parameter. And they asked me, but there could be a moment when this code will fail. When will it fail? Because sometimes you write a code that works only for a specific area, right? If we change the elements, it stops working because we don't write sometimes a dynamic code. And then I was asked this, and then I didn't know really. No, I knew the answer, but I kind of didn't know. So I thought 3-4 minutes, and then something came to my mind. The answer was null. If null will be given into the method as a parameter, then when you will do null.char add, it will create an error. It will create an error. So edge case is something that might create an error. This is something called edge case. So it was edge case. It was pretty easy. Sometimes you get pretty easy coding problems. Sometimes you get really difficult. Last No, they don't know about my the person who is taking interview, they don't know about my readiness or not.
Who you talk?
With the person, with the bridge, the recruiter. And
If answer like this, I'm not ready, I'm not prepared,
yeah,
because they're expecting more special experience.
No. no, it's okay. But of course, from one side, it's not a good idea. You are showing that you're not really professional.
Yeah.
That you might, it's better to show your confidence. But I didn't like. I was just, to be honest, I was just honest. And then there were other times when it's just a QA role, but the coding question is really difficult, really tough. It requires knowledge about data structures and algorithms. This is something that some developers even don't know good. It happened like last year when I was helping somebody. There was this question. And another example, maybe it will give you some sort of confidence. There was a really easy coding problem. The other one is this. Do you know what's a leap year?
Leap year?
Leap year.
Yeah, it's 4 years, yeah. It's 29th February, yeah. Kostning god,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a year when you have February 29th. February 29th. So the coding question is this. Make an input of any year. It can be 5, it can be 6, it can be 2000. And your code should display whether it's a leap year or not. And basically it requires from you to have maybe few, like this else if and then else. Sometimes you can solve it only with 2, if and else. So there is another coding question, really easy one. And then very, very, very popular coding question, very, very popular, is maybe you will solve it on your own at home. Like I have seen this coding question, like I don't know in how many interviews I attended. I had my own and I had helped other people in their interviews. I don't know the number. It's not really big, but this is the most popular coding question. It's called to-sum. To-sum. It's the most popular coding question. You are given an array with these numbers. 1, it can be other numbers as well. 1, 5, 8, 9, 20, and 7. You are given an array. And then you are given an array. And then you are given a target.
See your screen.
You don't see it? Okay. Online students, can you see my screen? Yeah, it's being
Yes.
recorded. Can you see this one where I write something?
Yes. I can
Do you see to-sum array target?
Yes.
Yeah. So I was in some interview like few weeks ago, and then this coding question it showed up again. So you are given a target. Target is a number. There is an array and a target, which is, let's say, 12. Do we have here 2 numbers that create this 12, that make up this 12? This is 5 and 7, right? So you will need to create a method that takes an array and target, and then find their indexes. What's the index of elements that can make 12?
Use for I, yeah.
Yeah, it's 0 and the last one, yeah? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0 and 5. Your method should display or return 0 and 5. How about this? If we have here this.
-2.
Now, is it true that we have 2 pairs, yeah, that can make it? We have 2 pairs, but you will need to return still indexes of 5 and 7, not for 8 and 4. So it's another thing. Your code might return like 1 and 6. They stand for this 8 and then this 4. So it's, again, some code that you can easily learn easily. And then there are two ways to solve it. Two ways to solve it. Like when I say quick way, it doesn't mean that code is really like short. I don't mean it's short. When I mean quick, it means that sometimes there are billions of inputs. There are billions of inputs. But you create just a simple code, but there could be in your array maybe million numbers, maybe like 1 billion numbers. And then if you create not effective code, that code might run maybe 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. So you should, for QAs, it's not really important, but sometimes they will ask, is there any effective way for this one? There are two ways: solving it with hash map, first one. The other one is solving it with hash map and for. The other one is only with for loop. So the one with hash map, it's much faster. The one with hash map will be shorter. The one with for loop will be longer. So with hash map and for, if you write the solution with hash map and for, it shows you that maybe if you write it with just for and for, it's gonna be for inside another for. We'll learn a little bit later about this one. If you write this code with for and for, it's not an effective code. This one is more effective. So if you create with hash map and for immediately in the first try, then it's good. So this is the most popular coding interview question. Why? Because there is some platform with a lot of coding questions. And the coding question number one is this one, TOSUM. And there was another coding question that I was not able to solve. Do you want to see at this code, like at this problem? I was not able to solve that coding question. The coding question is this. It's a real coding question from a real company. So you're given a string, let's say ABC. First of all, guys, do you know what's a palindrome? Yes. What is a palindrome? What's a palindrome?
Yeah.
When you reverse the word, then they will be similar with the original
When you traverse it from 0 to last index and from last to zero, first element, it reads the same, yeah? This is something called palindrome. And you might think, how I could not solve a problem for palindrome, yeah? But the problem is a little bit different. All right. Let's say kayak, race, car. Let me just give me a moment. ABC, race, car, race. All right, give me guys some palindrome. Let's say kayak, and then let's say GOOG, and then ABC. Which one from this two palindromes, GOOG or kayak, is longer? Kayak is longer. You have a string, and you need to find the longest palindrome from here. Which palindrome is the longest? So as I remember, it was something like race, car, race. It's not making race, car, ECAR. Oh, here, race, car. All right. How about this word? Is it a palindrome? How about this? Is this a palindrome? Race car? Race car. It's a palindrome, yeah? So I'll put it somewhere here. Race car. If you read it from here, it's race car, and from here, it's race car. And to be honest, I didn't have any idea how to solve it. No, I knew that it could be easier for me if it was something like this. ABC, kayak, GOG, this and this. It would be really easy for me to solve it if it was this way. But how can I do it if these strings are connected? Now, if I look at it from Java point, from JVM's point, then it's just one word. This word is ABC, kayak, GOG, race car, ABC. It's one word. But how can I like separate them? How can I break it down into words? Into different words. I didn't have enough knowledge for that time. ABC, kayak, GOG, race car, ABC. Do you want me guys to show you how can we do it? Oh, no,
Yes.
I'll not, because we need one more topic to cover and then we can do it. Maybe before we move to the today's class, guys, let me show you something. We are gonna cover it again on Monday, but maybe it will give you some idea so that on Monday it's gonna be easier for you. Let me create here something like test, guys. Main, and then here, can you see my code, guys? This for iLoop online students.
Yes, we can.
All right, and then here from 1 to 5, system out print line. Hi, very easy thing. Hey, very easy thing. How many times will this display me hi?
5.
5 times, yeah? All right, so let me run it. And it displays me 5 times. Really easy thing. All right, what happens if I do this? I copy this for loop. I comment it. Again, it should be a very easy thing. I create here another for loop and run this. How many times this hi will appear here? 5 times, yeah? It's 5 times. So let me give you a brief idea about a nested loop. Nested loop is some loop that has inside it another loop. What do you think, guys? Can we create inside an ifs body another if here? Yes. What do you think, Clara J? Team says yes, so it's 100% yes. It's called, this one is called nested if. Nested if. When you have inside an if, another if, it's called nested if. Nested loop is the one where you have your loop, and then inside it we have another loop.
Why we did not use it before in previous class?
Yeah, because this is something difficult to understand. So here, the counter for it, the variable should be not I, because I is already created. J, let me do it this way. 1 here, and here 5. And here 5. Here 1, and then here 5. J plus plus. It's okay if you won't be able to guess it, but let's try to guess it. So here, if I, right here, let's say I, how many times? No, hi. Let me just take a look at here, should be J. How many times hi will be displayed?
5 times. 25 times.
25 times. It will be displayed 25 times. How many times? Here we have 2 loops. the bigger loop, main loop. It's called outer loop, and then inner loop, outer loop, inner loop. All right. For the next Monday, I'll add it to the presentation, so you will be able to look at it later. But now I just give you some brief idea. So here, how many times this loop runs?
5.
5 times, yeah? How many times this loop runs? Like,
25 times.
no, look at this for loop. Imagine we don't see this one. How many times this one runs? 5 times, yeah. So look, let me show you. It's very easy, guys. Very easy to understand. Look, we're here at the outer for loop, and the I is equal to 1. It begins with 1. Now, as we go inside, we have another for loop here, inner loop, yeah. So in the inner loop, in the very first iteration, j will be 1. All right, we display high. And then we are not going back to the outer loop. First, we need to complete with the inner loop, and then we can come back to the outer loop. So here, now j becomes 2, high. Then j becomes 3, again high. Then j becomes 4, again high. J becomes 5, again high. And then now this condition is false. Or maybe in the next one will be. So now when j will be 6, it stops. It goes back to the outer loop. And then in the outer loop, I is equal to 1. It was not changed. It's still 1. Now I becomes 2. J starts again from 1. And then inner loop runs again 5 times.
So
I have a question. What if we can write the break after first break?
Yeah.
Outer.
We can do, but let's first make sure that you understand. So when I is equal to 2, the inner loop runs 5 times. 5 times. And I becomes the outer loop, 3. Now it's 3. And then j starts again from 1. From 1 to j5. J is 1, then j is 2, j is 3, and j is 4. So simply, it's something like this. I will be 1, j will be 1. I will be 1, j will be 2. I will be 1, j will be 3. And then I'll be 1 and j will be 4. And then I'll be 1 and j will be 5. And then when j is 5, it means we go back to the outer loop. Now in the outer loop, I becomes 2. And then j starts again from 0 or from 1. Then I is 2, j is 2, this way. I'll just change here something, and then I'll ask you, how many times will be high displayed? This.
Now 15 times.
15 times. The outer loop runs once, we go inside it, and then inner loop runs 3 times. So for one outer loop, we run 3, and then again 3, 3, 3, until we get 15. So how this for loop might help me to solve the previous one. So let me copy it. All right, so here, which word is the longest palindrome here?
Kayak.
Race car. Race car is the longest palindrome. All right, how this will help me? So I'm given a string, and then I'll need to return. Input is this one. And then I'll need to return race car. This is the longest palindrome. Kayak has only 5 characters. This one has 6. So I need to find these all words. In this string, guys, how many words do you see? Now we see 1, right? But there are a lot of combinations, right? So this is one combination. There is word AB. Then we have ABC. Then we have ABCK. This is the word. Then we have this. Then we have this. Until this one. And then we have another combination, which is BC. And then BCK. And then we have this combination, KA, KAY. And then now it turns out to be a palindrome. So this was really tough for me for that time, but I can show you how did I solve it. So here I have a string, str. Let me copy it. This is the string. For this one, if I need to create a method that takes an input as a string and then returns a string, how will this method look like? It should accept a string and return a string. And its name should be find longest palindrome. So public static data type is string. It should return a string. Find longest palindrome. Yeah. Let's say find LP, which is longest palindrome. And then it accepts a string. This part should be the easiest for you when you solve this problem, because it's not even the solution. String str. Can I make a different variable name? It could be s. So, and then, I didn't have enough knowledge. How will I do this? How can I find ABC? At first I thought this. There are only, I thought 5 words. I thought it's ABC. I thought it's ABC. I thought it's kayak. I thought it's GOG, then race car, and then ABC. But no, I was wrong. There are, I don't know, maybe 100 words here. It's AB, then ABC, then until here, then BCK, then BC, BCK, and this. So let's take a look at this one. For I loop till str.length. What will happen? I'll make it for a while, this one, a void. So if I run this code right now, what will happen?
It will not return anything.
There will be nothing, yeah? There will be nothing. If I run it, there is nothing. So I do this. What happens if I do str.char at I?
It will print each character separately.
Each character separately, yeah? All right. So now we know what does it do. Next, what if I create this int j less than str length? All right, so we had here for you, very quick, I'll just write it here again. 5, 5, here 4, 5, here 1, and then how many times this code displays? High? 25 times, yeah? This one. How about this? How many times now it displays high?
10.
3, 4, 5. So here, this one runs 3 times. For 3, for 4, for 5. This one runs 5 times. So 5 times 3, it's okay. How about this? How many times high will be displayed?
5.
5 times, yeah. This one runs 5 times. This one runs every time only once. So it even tells us why did you create this for loop if you don't need it? It always displays 5 only. So here, how about, let me make this string short ABC, and then here high. So now in this case, what will happen, guys, if I run this code?
9 times.
If I run this code, nothing will happen, yeah? I'll need to call this and then pass here, yeah? So now how many times will this display as high?
9 times.
Yeah, 9 times. How did you find out? You did it here. From 0 to
3.
3. Yeah, it's 0, 1, and 2, yeah? And then here from 0 to 3, which is 0, 1, 2 again. So if we run it, it displays high, high, high. So next, look at this, guys. If I do here something like this, how many word combinations here we have, guys?
1. Oh.
It's
2.
it could be A, it could be AB, it could be ABC. How about this laptop? How many combinations here we have? Word combinations from this 6 letters. It's L itself only. It's LA, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 combinations. All right. So here, if I do something like this, system out print line str substring I and j. Look what happens. All right, at some point, j plus plus ij, okay. So let's do it this. All right, look, here are the different combinations. Actually, we were wrong, guys. Here we have more than 3 combinations. It's ABC. No, it's AA, it's AB, ABC. Then we have BC, and then we have C. So there are more than 3 combinations. So if I run this code, it will show me all combinations that we might have. A, A, B, okay, it's not showing the other one because here it always doesn't include the last character. So let me write here +1. It's A, AB, ABC, B, BC, and just C. There are 6 combinations from this one. How about this, guys? There will be not 7. It's not gonna be 8. It's gonna be a bigger number. So now here we have more. As long as the length is getting bigger, as long as it's longer, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, the more combinations there are. Because now we have A, B, A, B, C, A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D, E, F, and then A, B, C, D, F, G, and then B, C, B, C, D, and so on. There are a lot of combinations. All right, and then let me do this. A, B, C. Let me do H, O, H, A. What's the palindrome that you see here, guys? Do you see here a palindrome? No?
HOHA.
HOH. It's a palindrome that I see here. HOH. Do you see this palindrome somewhere here?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
It's right here, yeah? So which string is the longest palindrome here? HOH. How about this? Now I'll come with more difficult example. And then this. There will be a lot of combinations, but let's try to find the longest. Yeah, let's finish. Yeah, go ahead.
According to this palindrome in HOH, why HOH? What does mean HOH?
HOH is a palindrome because it reads from here HOH and from
Another side.
Last, yeah, from the other side, it reads the same. This is something called palindrome. HOH is a palindrome. Kayak is a palindrome. Adam is also a, no, it's not a palindrome. Ah, okay. This one is a palindrome. All right, so now it would be really easy if I'll be given this string. I would be able to solve it. But I was given a string where they are not separated. And I didn't know how do I thought here I have only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strings. I thought I have 5, but there are more actually. Here we have a lot of strings. And then let's find out. Do you see here which string is the longest palindrome here? Race car. Let's find it here. Race car. Race car. Do you see it here?
Yes.
Yeah. And you'll need to check all of them. Check all of them. And then figure out, is this a palindrome? Is this a palindrome? For this, we can create another method. Something like this.
From the backside to the
Yeah, something that checks and returns Boolean. Is this a palindrome? It could be true or false. Palindrome,
left side.
Boolean is palindrome. Is palindrome. So, and then it takes a string. So on Monday, we'll cover this topic in details. A nested loop, for loop, and then another for loop. Is palindrome, str, and then here, this one should return you whether it's palindrome or not. If I call here is palindrome and I pass here kayak, what should it ideally return if let's say there is some code for kayak? It should return a true value. How about this ABC? It should be
False.
false. Yes, so here we need to write some code that checks is it a palindrome or not. The easiest way to check it is creating string reverse. We will reverse the string and then we will compare it. We create a for I loop. You have done this before. Is palindrome. You checked it before. So we do this reverse plus equal str dot char at I. And then now you have two strings. It's reverse and it's str. You have two strings. And then here we compare them. If reverse is equal to str or not. There are two outcomes. So here, if I run it, let me just minimize it. So here, there is no output. Why there is no output? I call here a method is palindrome, but it's not showing me something. This one returns what, guys? Boolean, yeah? It returns a Boolean. So if it returns something, did we create here Boolean B? No, we didn't. It returns us a value and we need to accept it. If someone throws an apple and you don't open the mouse, it will just fall. It will just fall somewhere else to the ground. But if you open the mouse and if you will try to catch it, then it might go into your mouth, right? So we need here system out print line. We need to accept it. And it returns true. Is this, guys, is this a palindrome?
No.
No, it's not a palindrome. So what is wrong here? Let's quickly read through, guys. We call this method. We pass here ABC to this method, and it returns that it's a palindrome.
That's one. Yes, yeah, something.
Yeah, it should begin from str.length. It's another shortcut for you to learn. Look, I learned it right now. If I make a right click here, show context actions, it shows me replace it with while. It can automatically create here a while or reverse the direction. Not from 0, now from the end. All right, now if I run it, it returns me false. So this is one thing. One thing. I need a method. This, and then look, this one, system out, str substring ij. This code, guys, displays us. Here, let me call this. Find LP, which is longest palindrome. If I pass here str, then it displays me a lot of combinations. All right, and which line of code displays me these combinations? Okay, which line here shows this output?
12.
Yeah, which line displays us this different codes? Line 12, yeah, line 12. So this system out str substring, it returns us, it displays us ABC, race car, this strings. If I remove it, then it will be empty here. So which one guy, so this str substring, what does this method return? Substring.
New string.
It cuts that string and returns it. Yeah, it will be usually a shorter string than the original one. So we can do it this. I can write here something like substring, this, or sub. And if I pass here sub, it displays me this. Okay, how many of these combinations are palindromes? How many of this? There are only 1, 2, 3, right? There are only 3 of this. And we need to find those 3. So it's okay if you don't understand, because we'll cover this nested loop later. All right. And then here I do this. We call this method that we created before. It's a helper method. Is palindrome sub. If it's palindrome, oh, we cannot do this. If what this method returns? It returns false or true, right? It returns a boolean. So look, if I write here hi, how many times, guess how many times will we see hi?
3 times.
3 times.
3 times, yeah, because there are only why I cannot. Now here it displays us, okay, multiple times. This is interesting. Let's do this. Display this sub. Let's see. ABC. Is A, guys, a substring? Oh, no, palindrome. Sorry. It's a palindrome.
Yes.
If you read it here, if you read, yeah. How about this? Aya, is it a palindrome?
Yes.
So there are more than 3 palindromes, yeah? It's again, we are human, we make mistakes, and I also thought there are only 3 palindromes. Ara, it turns out to be again a palindrome. And then, next, I can do this. Do you remember, guys? We have in the array, with arrays, we have a method called arrays.sort. It sorts an array. And let's say you have an array of these numbers. And you need to find the greatest number here. How will you do it? You have an input, you need to find the greatest number. There are two ways. Sort and then return the last one, yeah? Or the other one, we need to create some variable, like the greatest number, and then compare it with each of the elements, yeah? So here, we can do this. We can create here, these are not numbers, these are strings. String, I can call it P, which stands for palindrome. And then I assign here this. If it is a palindrome, if something is a palindrome, I do another check. If it is longer than my existing palindrome, then I assign the longest one. If P's length is less than the sub's length, then I assign to P the sub. And let's take a look. And then when we go outside of the for loop, I display the P. And let's see if it really solves the thing here. It finds the race car, yeah? So I didn't have enough knowledge to do it at that time. No, not me. I was just helping somebody, and that person didn't have enough knowledge to do it. And the coding question was from Chase. It was from company Chase, yeah. Find the longest palindrome, and then you need to come up with two methods.
Could you show the last, yeah, this?
This one?
Yes.
Yeah, this kind of method you already created before.
About the second one.
So here is the whole logic. Without this method, this one is nothing. So here we have, if I remove this, it will display us only the combinations. And then the second method does this. Is this a palindrome? If it's a palindrome, we're gonna store it somewhere in the variable. Is this a palindrome? No, 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 no. For all of them, it will be no. And then is this a palindrome? Yes, but it's not longer than the first palindrome, which is A. Then we go, and then we again don't find any palindrome. Then again, there is no palindrome here. C is not longer than A. So then we come to here. K is not longer. Kayak. We found kayak. Kayak is longer than palindrome A. Is it so? So kayak now is our longest palindrome. I hold kayak here. And then we check it with other until we find the here GOOG. Is it longer than kayak? No, it's not longer. So we skip it and then we go. And every time we check, is this a palindrome? Is this a palindrome? This one is not. This one is a palindrome. And then we compare it with kayak, and this one is longer. So we assign it to the extra variable, or this one. And then here, in all of the other iterations, we're not gonna find a palindrome longer than race car. All right. Okay, so today's topic, guys, is introduction to OOP. OOP. I think you heard this word, right? Multiple times. What OOP stands for, guys? The abbreviation OOP stands for what? For object-oriented programming, yeah. And what if I say you, all right, let's just read it. OOP, it's an object-oriented programming. What does it mean? It's a style of programming where everything is centered between objects and classes. Here, these objects represent real-world entities. For example, car. Car is a class. It can be represented in Java. Object-oriented programming means And it's like a good way of programming. Not good way, maybe easier for us because we are human. Whatever we do every day, we maybe touch objects, right? Or we think of objects. When you wake up, probably you think of your smartphone, right? Right away. So every day you think about some objects. So that's why maybe it's the best programming like style, object-oriented programming. And OOP allows you to structure your programs. It helps you to organize your code between these classes and objects. Classes and objects. And what's the relationship between this class and object? What is class and what's object?
Car and object brand.
No. Car is a class, yeah. And there are objects like object Toyota Camry, object Ford, yeah, object Honda. And all right, does an object always contain only one value? No, it might contain multiple values, yeah? It might contain name, it might contain name and age, brand and model, year. For example, when you think of some object, it could be car, it could be student. Each car has its properties. It could be color, speed, and student. They might have a behavior to study or to sleep. Next. All right. Is it true? Is it true that objects, they represent classes? The answer is true. I think the question should be different. Is this true that only object is a plan to create classes? Is it true? Object is a plan to create classes.
Could you repeat again?
No, object
No,
is
it's
a
not
plan
true.
or a design. That object is a design that we use to create classes.
No.
Class is a design or a plan that we use to create objects. Yeah, so what's an OOP? OOP is a programming style where we use classes as blueprints and objects as their copies or instances. All right. OOP brings us real world modeling. We can create car, we can create dealership, library, university within the project. And then this is just a very basic example of OOP. Can we call it OOP or something that's related to OOP? Yes, because here we created a class. If you have a class, it's already a part of OOP style, where you create objects and classes. This is a very basic example. Next. Why do we need OOP? We need it for modularity. You can create classes, and each class serves and has a specific task. You can create a class. For example, this is done by developers, but let me show you something like this. A package like bank. What can we have inside a bank? We can have some class that represents bank account. We can have a class that represents a bank. Inside this bank, we have list of bank accounts. Yeah, let's call it bank accounts. And then here we can have a class called person. Person can own multiple bank accounts or one. Let me make for this example just one. So in our example, one person can own only one bank account. And then here we could have inside the bank account an array list of bank accounts. No, not here. Do you think we should create a list of bank accounts inside the bank account? This is a bank account class. And is it, what do you think, good to create here a list of bank accounts?
Yes.
No, it's something like this. Your smartphone has inside itself 100 smartphones or 5 smartphones. No, this bank accounts, they are inside the bank. So here, bank account, it might be this way. It could belong to one person. Bank account belongs to a person. And then these are just, guys, models. Models, real world models. Let me do this. Models. In real app or program, there is something like this. And then service. What can we do with this bank account? With bank, there could be a specific class to do transactions. All transaction services are done here. There could be a notification service. It could be something like this. When you do some transaction, maybe it's transferred from your account to another person's account using Zelle. If you do it, then when some method is called and successfully runs, when some code like deposit runs successfully, it will call notification service, and the notification service will send you a email, maybe an email to your Gmail account where it says you added a new recipient. Have you ever seen this? Yeah, when you send to a new person some amount, you get this notification. So everything is about classes and objects. Let me remove this. Reusability. There is something called inheritance. In the OOP, we have, guys, let me go here, maybe here. All right, in the OOP, we have inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, and one more principle. Here we have principles. Principles are rules. We have inheritance. You should always know them. Inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, and abstraction. There are 4 principles. In this world, in this real world, we have physics principles, right? Physics principles such as gravity, some force, velocity. In Java, we have these principles: inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, and abstraction. We use them to create better code. If you use inheritance, this principle, it gives you a chance to create only one class. And then inside other classes, you don't need to create methods. Everything is written in the parent class. It's when it comes to inheritance. With inheritance, we can have something like this. There could be vehicle and car and motorcycle. Is this true, guys, or false? This car is a vehicle.
Yes, it's true.
It's a vehicle. Motorcycle is a vehicle. So what do you think? Car and motorcycle, do they both share some common properties? Yeah, what are the common properties that car and motorcycle can have? Engine, right? Model,
Yes.
brand, yeah. Model, brand. Yeah.
Bicycle.
And there are many more. So we can create one class called vehicle, write everything inside that class, common things. And then this car and motorcycle will just use everything from the vehicle class. You don't need to create brand, model, year again in the car or in the motorcycle. You create them only once inside the vehicle class. We'll learn it today. All right, so here, this page. Flexibility. We'll learn about this all. Flexibility comes with polymorphism. We'll learn it in the next classes. Scalability, with OOP, you can scale applications. Without OOP, you create just main method codes where you write everything in the main. You don't have car class, you don't have dealership class, university class. There is no inheritance. Inheritance can save you maybe 20, maybe 30 lines of code. Encapsulation, with encapsulation, you ensure that some of the properties are protected. You cannot access them from other points of your project. We'll learn this, polymorphism, encapsulation, and then abstraction in the following classes. Polymorphism on Monday, abstraction on Thursday. Okay, so guys, create this package, day 49. Create package day 49. All right, inside this day 49 package, inside this package, we're gonna create inherit classes that use inheritance principle. All right, let's take a look first at this example, guys. Okay, this is not inheritance. This is basic example of OOP. Here we have class, bank account. How many bank account objects can we create? As many, yeah. And what do you think? Will all of these bank account objects have account number and balance? Yeah, all of them. Library, inside the library, we can have list of books, collection of books. This is very simple example of OOP. OOP. Can you give me a few more examples of OOP, class and objects, something like this? Like library, inside the library we have collection of books. Bank account, there we have account number, balance, and we can perform these actions, deposit, withdraw. Give me a few more examples. There could be a class smartphone, and what could be the properties? Maps.
That's
Or apps.
It could be array list of applications, apps. And then it could be the brand, model, display size, color. These are the properties. What could be the behaviors, methods, or actions that you can do with that phone? Make a call, pick up a call, open application, charge your phone. All right, one more example.
Hima is talking about the a human.
A human? Yeah, we can create a class, a person. A person, what properties a person might have?
And
Name, age,
Name, age, yeah.
occupation.
Name, age, it could be height, yeah, weight. Properties could be sleep, study, earn, right? And we can have another class, such as university or school. And inside that school, we can have those people, person, objects. But here, we don't use inheritance. What could be with inheritance? With inheritance, we can have a class called person. Under this person, we can have another class called employee. And then this employee will be used whenever you need to create some class like school maybe, or company. There you can use employee, because employee will have specific properties, like maybe salary, but person will have only common properties. Something that has each person. Employee will have employee properties. So there will be something like this one, and then this one. So here, okay, this one is person. It's a person. And the other one is employee. Inheritance helps us to create this kind of relationships. Employee and person. Which one is more important?
Person.
Person, yeah. He has a priority here. He is on top of employee. It's a person and employee. Inside the person, we can have properties like this. It could be name, age, height, weight, and other properties. What do you think, guys? Does employee have name, age, height, weight? Some employee.
Yes.
Yeah. So we just have this relationship. We say in Java, please, employee class should get properties from person. How about this? Name. How about this? Does each person have a salary? No. There are unemployed people, right? So it's not true. This salary should be here in the, right here it should be employee. Oh no, it should be salary. And then it could be salary, it could be company and other details. Each employee will have name, age, height, weight, salary, and company, but not each person. Person will have only name, age, height, and weight. Here we create only common things, basic things. Okay, give me another example, guys. There could be another relationship, one more relationship here. Just give me one idea.
For person?
Yeah, something that is like a person. It's a person, but we can be more specific. Woman. Then let's come up with other example. Person and employee, it could be here, this two. Here it could be something like student. It could be student. And then here we can have one more. We can have one more, which is, if we have a student, then it could be again another one. A teacher, yeah. Teacher. Actually, it's very good example for you guys. Let me do this. So I will teacher. Classes, they always begin with uppercase. Let me do this. These two. Can I copy them? No. Okay, I'll do this. Here. Okay, this. And then there could be this relationship, guys. Teacher is an employee. Employee is a person, but student is not employee. It would be wrong if we have here one more, such as student. Student is not a teacher. Student is not an employee, but student is a person. So here it's alone. This one, this relationship is called single inheritance. This one is called multiple inheritance. This one is called hierarchy. Because person is inherited by student and by employee classes. All right, Here we could have this. One more. This. And then here we have this relations. Here. And here. We can be even more specific now. It could be college student. Or it could be something like,
Freshman.
yeah, it could be bachelor student. And here,
Graduate.
it could be this. So they always begin with this, and then we follow this rule. How do we call this rule? Camel case rule. All right, there could be this.
Kebab.
Kebab?
Yeah.
Kebab?
I mean the kebab.
Ah, okay. Oh, okay, there are different styles. The one we use is camel case. I don't know which one is kebab. So as I remember, kebab, it could be something like this. Or snake is this one, where you have like college and then student. It's called snake. Maybe kebab is this. I think this one, probably this, when they're connected this way. Because you can, I don't know if you can use this in Java, but you can use it in other programming languages. String, college, student, this is a snake style. But I don't know if we can use this. We cannot use it in Java, but there is this kind of style, kebab. All right, so this is a relationship, inheritance relationship. Okay, so let me go back here. So can you give me, guys, one example? I believe you know. There should be there should be a relationship. There should be a relationship that you know. So I have this. This one I created myself, but we know one relationship that exists in Java that's predefined. You already know. It's about
It's like composition, yeah? Or
it's hash map collections. It's data structures. It's a collections hierarchy. So this one, collections hierarchy. There is a hierarchy that here we have array list, linked list, priority key. If you look at here, we have hash set and tree set. Is it true that hash set and tree set, they have like common behaviors? For example, or like characteristics. Hash set and tree set, they store only unique elements, both of them. And it is defined here in this set. It's defined here. So we don't need to create it again in this tree set, linked hash set. Array list, and linked list, they both store multiple elements. It's defined here in the list for map. Hash map, tree map, or linked hash map, they all have this format, yeah? Which format? Key and value pairs. How do you call this key and value pairs in other words? Entries. Entries, yeah. So this is one example. A collections hierarchy. List. How can we call a list, guys? It could be a parent. And this array list and linked list, we can call them child, yeah. This can be called as parent class. This one is child classes. Superclass or superclass and subclasses. Sub are the ones that are child. All right, hierarchy. We move to the next page. Until this point, maybe you have questions, guys. Something to ask or clarify, or to ask if it's possible in Java.
example, here as we talk here in collections, we can make like a connect with the, as you talk, with the students, yeah?
Yeah,
Their
it-
classes, yeah?
Yeah, so like it's another example of hierarchy. Here we created together another example of hierarchy. Person, student. It could be other like animal, and there are kingdoms of animal, yeah? Animals that can fly, that can only walk, that can only swim, and then it goes again maybe more deep. So inheritance. Inheritance is a principle where subclasses can inherit all the properties all the properties. What could be the properties of vehicle? Let's repeat it one more time. Properties.
I
Model,
don't
year.
catch the meaning of the inheritance. What does it mean?
Inheritance, it's the relationship when you have car and you have vehicle, or in the real world, it's father and then son. Father and then daughter. They both inherit from father some characteristics, yeah? So inheritance, it's a principle where you create subclasses, and these subclasses, they inherit things from superclass.
Mhm.
Superclass. And it's called is a relationship. Is a. Car is a vehicle. Motorcycle is a vehicle. Can you say vehicle is a car?
Yes.
No. Because vehicle can be, it can be a, maybe, I don't know, it could be a ship even. Because ship has an engine. Vehicle. Motorcycle, because there are a lot of vehicles. You cannot say vehicle is a car. You can say car is a vehicle or motorcycle is a vehicle. Can you say laptop is a device? Laptop is a device. Laptop is a device. Can you say device is a laptop? No. Because device is something probably that has some maybe chip, or maybe it has some transistors. It has something electronic. So here we can say teacher is an employee, right? But employee is not always a teacher. Employee can be other people. Okay, what kind of professions do you know?
Waiters.
Cook, yeah,
Like
lifeguard. So employee can be a teacher, a lifeguard. It has options, but teacher is always an employee. And then employee is a person. So this is a relationship. That's why we have here only one arrow. Only one. Student is a person. Bachelor student is a student. Bachelor student, can a bachelor student be a student and a person at the same time? Yeah, yeah. And it's covered in the Java. So bachelor student, we can create an object of bachelor student, and that bachelor student can access everything from here and from here. But master student cannot access things from employee class. Master student doesn't have salary, doesn't have company. Bachelor student have name, age, height, and weight. Student, what kind of properties a student might have? It could be school, yeah? It could be school, and then bachelor student and master student, they have more specific properties. It could be major, yeah? It could be favorite subject, maybe.
according to this word, ISA.
Is a.
Is a.
Is a. It's a name of this relationship. We call it is a relationship. Master student is a student. Student is a person. Master student is not an employee.
And the person on the top, on,
It's a parent.
it's a parent.
Parent class. Parent
Can we
class.
Change this parent class. I mean.
What do you mean by change? What do you want to change?
There's some superpower parent. How we can,
Here,
yeah.
person, what could be here?
Yeah.
What could be here?
I think
Because you said person. Person is a human.
What, I mean, excuse me, but I just want to clarify for myself.
Here we cannot have, I think, other than person class. It cannot be God. We don't inherit things from God. It cannot be other than this. So person, it's on top of this relationship. So here, bachelor student has access to everything from this student and from this person. Next slide. All right. Vehicle class is a parent class here. Car and motorcycle classes are subclasses or child classes. We call them subclasses or child classes. Vehicle class describes common properties. It describes common properties. It can have properties like year, brand, model, methods, like maybe start. It can have like maybe turn off or turn left, turn right, because car and motorcycle, they can turn to the left and turn to the right. All right, types of inheritance. All right, so here, guys, let's do this. How do we call this type of inheritance, or how would you call it in your own words? This type of inheritance, only this one. This part, person, employee, and teacher.
Professional.
Yeah, it could be something like this. In other words, it's multi-level inheritance. Here we have labels. Teacher level, it's the lowest level, then middle level, and then highest level. How about this two? How can we call this? So if this one is multi-level, is it multiple? Is it multiple level or multiple hierarchy?
No.
It's called hierarchical. Hierarchical, it's when one is inherited by two. And one more thing, we don't have in Java this. We don't have multiple inheritance. When one class can inherit two classes, we don't have it. And it's, I think, logical. Master student cannot be student and employee. So we have only 3 types of inheritance here. It's single level. There is only one class. How do we call this class?
Higher.
Yeah, and in one more, there are 2 more words.
Parent.
Parent class or super class. How do we call this one? Child class or subclass. Okay, this one is multi-level. This one is hierarchical. We can have multiple when class B can inherit from class A and other class. But we'll learn it later when we go to abstraction principle. Maybe you already remember, maybe not, but how many principles are there in OOP? Rules, principles. 4. All right. This is inheritance, encapsulation, abstraction, and polymorphism. So there are 4. Inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, abstraction. There are 4. All right. These are types of inheritance. And right now, guys, let's have a break. And right after the break, we continue. Okay. Online students, can you hear me? All right, something is wrong then, yeah?
Yes, true.
Okay. So, okay. So there are three types of inheritance. It's single level, multi-level, and hierarchical. And there is also another one called multiple inheritance. But with classes, we cannot make this multiple. It should be interface. And then interface can extend multiple interfaces. There is multiple. It's interface A is inherited by interface A, and B is inherited by interface C. We learn something called interface. Interface is like class, but it has few different key points. So first, the importance of inheritance. Inheritance allows you to create common properties only in one place, and then you don't need to again create them. Parent class and child class. All right. Tell me, guys, what's something new for you here?
Parent and child.
Extends keyword. Keyword extends creates this inheritance. To make an inherited class, we use extends. So now, whatever you create inside this parent will be inherited by its child. The inheritance allows you to create common properties in the parent class, and then all of those properties and behaviors will be inherited, so that you don't need to create them again in the subclass. Subclasses can have their own specific methods and properties. All right, so this is one example, guys. We have here class vehicle. It's a parent class. String brand, string model, int year, and then it has a method move. If this method is called or is executed, then vehicle will be moving. And then there is a subclass, car class. And this car class can we call it a child class for a vehicle? Yeah, it's a child class for vehicle, and it has its own specific method. This method can be called only by car objects. Here it is. Did we create inside this car class properties like brand, name, model? No. Year? No. But if we create here an object of car class, we can see that this car has brand, model, and year. We inherited from vehicle. We create here brand, model, year, and all of them are in the car class as well, because we inherit them. And then this move method we can also access through car, because car inherits this all because of this extends. Car has its own method called this, called honk, and then car can call its own specific method. So here, when class extends another class, it inherits the parent's class methods and properties. What do you think? Can a vehicle access this method?
No.
No. Vehicle cannot. Only car can access brand, or I will rephrase it. So vehicle doesn't inherit honk. It doesn't. But car inherits this brand, model, year, and move. Vehicle is on top of this relationship. That's why it cannot inherit this. But car and motorcycle, they inherit brand, model, year, and this method. So let's create here inside the day 49, let's create here a package called vehicle. Create here this package.
In day 49, yeah?
Yeah, day 49, create this package vehicle. Okay, here in this day 49 vehicle package, we create here a class called vehicle, car, and main. Create here three classes: car, main, and vehicle. So you need to copy into this classes, these properties and methods. Inside the vehicle, create this brand, model, year, and then method move.
Car and what?
Vehicle, car, and main. Yeah. And inside this vehicle class, create this following properties and method.
Without main. Yeah?
Main, yeah, main will be created later in other class. So next, then create class car. All right, next create this car class, or inside this car class, create this method. And class should inherit vehicle.
Also, it's not a main method, yeah?
Yeah, main method is created in other class. And here inside the main class, create main method and create here an object and access this brand, model, year.
The new class, yeah?
Yeah, it's a new class. So there are 3 classes. All right, so here inside this vehicle, I have car, main. All right, so here, car, main, and vehicle. We didn't create here, guys, inside the car class, brand, year, and model. But, all right, let me create here something like str. What do you think? Can I access this str inside this method?
Yes, we can.
str, I can access it. And we can access model as well. But did we create here model?
No.
No. We inherit it. We get it from parent, from vehicle. We have year and we get it from vehicle. We have move method. We get this move method from vehicle. So is this true that inheritance makes us to write less code by reusing existing properties?
Yes, it's true.
Ability. It's true. So here in the main, we can create here an object of car, and then car can have its brand, model, year, and they are inherited from vehicle. All right, let's do this, guys. Let's create here an object of vehicle, new vehicle. All right, and then do we have a behavior inside the vehicle class? Do we have a method? And what's the method name? Move. Yeah, there is a move, but we don't have here method honk. We don't have it. Just a second. So here, we don't have this honk method. Where is this honk method, guys? Where is it created? In the car class. Does vehicle class inherit car class? No. It's inherited by car class, but it doesn't inherit. So vehicle doesn't inherit honk method. What do you think? Does vehicle object has brand, model, and year? Yes, because we have defined them here in its class, brand, model, and year. So we can call this move. Vehicle.move. All right. Next, what do you think, guys? Can we pass here into this? How do we call this? How do we call it? Parenthesis, and in other words,
Parameters,
parameter. Actually, like
a construction.
it's something okay. It's something okay. But let me show you something. So here we have a method. Int b. All right. Int a. 10. So then when you will need to explain to somebody, or if somebody asks you what is it, you will be exactly right. How do we call this a and b that we have here, that we pass here?
Variable names.
These are variable names, but this is called, we call them arguments. We pass here two arguments, argument a and argument b. Here we accept two parameters. Here we have two parameters. This is the parameters list. This is arguments list. Why we call them different? Because here we pass them and here we get them. This is arguments list. A argument and B argument. So here in the main, how do we call it? It's called like parenthesis argument list. In other words, there is one more word. No.
References.
It's a constructor, right? We can pass here things. This is constructor, new car. All right. Is this true that whenever you create an object, you call its constructor?
Yes, it's true.
Yeah, let's pass here some values. I would like to, let's see if it's possible. I would like to pass here Ford, let's say Fusion, and then 2023. Why we can't pass here these arguments? I would like to pass them through constructor, so I don't need to create here 3 lines. I can just
They didn't
get it done.
make the construction.
There is no constructor, right? We didn't create constructor in the car or in the vehicle, yeah? There's no constructor. So constructor should be created to pass here arguments. Do we call this arguments? Yeah, these are arguments. And here we have parameters. So this thing, constructor and super keyword. Let's create, guys, before creating this relation, before creating this relationship, let's look at here. Or let's do it together, guys. Let's create here. One more thing, guys. You will ask me 2 times, how did you do it? So that's why let's take a look at the screen. And then here, I would like to create here another package called animal or animals. Here, new package. If I do this, animals, it will create animals package inside the vehicle. It should be inside the day 49. So we remove this part. It should be day 49 and then vehicle. And now vehicle is next to animals, and animals is a separate package. Otherwise, it would be inside. It would look like this. Day 49 and then this. Yeah, create here inside a package. It should be on the same level with vehicle. So day 49 and then animals. Okay. Did you create this package? Next thing is we're gonna create here a parent class animal. Create here parent class animal. And then inside this parent class, we create this name. Okay, and then we're gonna create the constructor later. All right. Have you done? All right, next step, let's create here another class called dog. Class dog, and this class dog extends animal class. Is it true that animal class inherits from dog name? No? Dog class, yeah, inherits name from animal class. Okay, animal dog. So dog, we'll keep it empty. Then let's create here main class, and the main method. All right, main class and the main method. And here, let's create here an object of dog. All right, object of dog class is created. Next, we can access name. We can assign it name. We can assign it a name, but which way you find, guys, shorter? If we use constructor, and let's say if we had 5 properties, would you use constructor or would you assign them this way? Constructor. Okay, let's try here a constructor. I would like to pass here name Bob. Why is it red? Why there is a red line? There is no constructor. Okay, what do you think? Where we should create this constructor? Inside the dog or inside the animal?
The dog. Oi, no, animal.
Dog or animal? So
Animal.
we will create it in both these classes. But first, let's create it inside the animal. It should be created inside the animal. Animal comes first. Let me just show you a few examples, guys. What would happen if we created in the dog class? Public dog, and then constructor of dog should accept a string name, and then this dot name equals name. We can do this, and let's try. If I do it, system out print line. Okay, this is another thing. It's gonna be a question for you. So if I run this code, it displays me the address. I would like to display another thing, guys. The doc's name. How can I display here doc's name? I don't want to access the name. I would like to print the doc, and it will display everything inside that doc object. We learned it
ToString method.
in the doc class, ToString method, yeah? Okay, here public string to string. Okay, we know. Okay, you answered this. So we need to create there ToString. And then, guys, seems like this. I'll tell you that actually we will need to create constructor inside the animal class. We'll need to create in both animal class and dog class. But you might think, why do we need to create here in the animal class if we already have it in the dog class? Everything seems like fine. We pass here an argument and it works, right? Do you think like this?
Yes.
No? You think what do you think? Something is wrong or everything is fine? Actually, everything is fine. But here in the animal class, we need to create a constructor. Why? Because look, if we create an object of animal, we cannot pass here something. We cannot pass here a value. So another example. So don't need to write code, guys, right now. So I'll create here a constructor, animal, and then it accepts a parameter, name, and then I assign to this name, and then there should be an error in other place. Here, there is an error. So there is an error, guys. The error is this. We need to pass here actually the name. We don't need to assign it here. So why do we need this? And why do we need to create inside the animal? Actually, for dog, it's fine. Like dog has its own constructor, animal has its own constructor. It should be fine. But there's this thing, guys. Let me give you this scenario. Let's say, let me quickly create here another example for you. It will be student and then person and student, and here a main class. Okay, basic things that each person has are string name and age, right? String name and age. Student, does each student, guys, have name and age? So we do this relationship from student to person, extends person. How about this? Student, what are the specific properties that are owned only by students?
GPA,
Let's say, yeah, double GPA, string, school name. All right, and then, yeah, this is enough. And then let me go here. So it will explain you why we need to create here something. Let me just quickly make it commented and here. So here I have this person, student, and main. So I can create here student, but let's create here constructors. So one more time, guys. In this example, animals example, we have animal, and then we have dog class. And here there is an error. There is an error. And I'll explain you why we see this error. I'm gonna explain you right now. Here, main, person, and student. So here, I can create here constructor for student. Public, student, double GPA, and string school name. And then we can assign this GPA and school name. We can we create here right now in this main? This main is inside the school. Can we create here object of student and use the constructor? We can use the constructor student, new student. Okay, we need to pass here only GPA and school name. But student has more than GPA and school name. Students have their name and age. Name, age, GPA. So now, where are this name and age, guys? We don't have them here. They're inside the parent class. All right, we can assign them here. This name, this age. And then here I'll pass this values. First is Alan, 19, and then here the GPA 37, and then school name, let's call it Jaden School. Okay, so now we have an object. Let's create here an object of person. It's doable. We can create here an object of person. Okay, why it's not requiring us to pass here arguments? If I'll keep it empty, it requires me to pass here something. Here it doesn't. Why?
there is no constructor in the
Yeah,
person.
there is no constructor. For person, there is no constructor. For student, there is a constructor. All right, What will happen, guys, if I do this? If I run this code, will it display hi? So when you create an object of student, it will call its constructor. And in the constructor, we have this line. So if we run it, it will display as hi. Okay, I'll remove it. Next, I'll create for person its own constructor. Public person, except here the name and the age, and we assign them. And then, so it has its own constructor. And then here we have an error. Now we're gonna see why there is an error, guys. So look, we can create here an object of person, new person. But this person has only two parameters, name and age only. Let me pass here max and then 23. All right, it has its own constructor. They should both have separate constructors. What do you think? Is it true or not? If yes, why? Because student has more than two arguments, yeah, to be passed. So that's why it's one reason to have different constructors. Next, there is an error. There is an error. The reason is this. Do we have already somewhere in this package a place with this name and this age assigned? Where is it? Here. We already assigned them. So in this inheritance, there is a rule to use this. If you have inside the parent class already a constructor, you should use the parent's constructor. You cannot create your own only. So you can use the student's own constructor, but here on top of it, you should call this name and age. This is called super, keyword super. This super keyword will pass name and age to this place. So let's see how it works. When this object is created, what it calls, guys? When this object is being created, something is called. What is it?
Constructor.
Constructor is called. So we go to the student's constructor. Next, we pass here name, age, GPA, and school name. Is it true that this name and age are already assigned in other class? Here in person. So we will reuse the code. Super, name and age. We call this super calls parents constructor, this one. Because parents constructor accepts name and age, exactly two parameters. So here we pass to the super name age only two. We cannot pass here three parameters like this because it accepts only two. So it should be matching. Next, we call parents constructor. We pass their name and age. So we go here and then the assignment is done inside the person class, inside the parent class. So here we assign the name and age, but this Alan and 19, they belong to object of person or object of student?
Person.
They belong to an object of student. We're just reusing existing thing. And then we go back to the student and we assign students specific properties such as GPA and school name. So super should be called, it's a rule. If you have common or some properties that are inherited from person, they should be assigned in the parents class. You can assign them here, but then there is going to be an error. It tells us that name and age should be assigned in the parents constructor. How do you call parents constructor? By super parenthesis, and here we pass name and age. Name is this one. What's the name? It's Alan and 19. So we pass here Alan and then 19. So we enter the constructor of student. Here we have Alan 19, 3.7, and Jaden school. And we call parents constructor Alan 19. We go inside here, and then we assign this name and age here inside the parents constructor. And then we assign here in the students constructor its own specific properties, GPA and school name. Why we didn't assign here, guys, this GPA? Let's say we have here double GPA. Why we don't assign it here?
Because not every person has GPA.
Yeah, it belongs only to students. But this name and age are owned by people. So we have it here. The constructor is here. And we don't need to do this name, that name, and this age, that age here. It's not possible first, and then it will save you a lot of lines. Because you are not going to have only person and student relationship. You're going to have person, student, person, then employee. And then under the employee, it could be teacher and then musician, maybe like cook. So it's if you think it saves you only 2 lines here, no, it will save you maybe 10 lines. If you have teacher, if you have cook, if you have other classes, it will save you 10 lines. If I remove it here, these 2 lines, probably I will remove it from teacher, from cook classes as well. Super, name and GPA. Name and age. So here in the animals classes, create this code, guys. This one. So first, let's see. So here, constructor. What's constructor, guys?
It's a special method that initializes.
It's a special method, and it's called when an object is created. It can initialize object properties. Super is used to call parents constructor. Here we call parents constructor. Okay, so in the animals class, okay, there's another good example. So here we create an object of dog. We pass to the constructor this name, and then it goes here to dogs constructor, calls parents constructor, and we pass here, what's the name passed? Yeah, this name. And then here in the parents constructor, we assign it to this name property. So yeah, copy this code into the animals constructor, animals class. Right, just 1 second, guys. Can you create this? Ah. This was the name for my dog back in Kyrgyzstan.
Yes,
Yeah.
It was a very popular name.
Yeah.
Every second word.
Yeah.
After,
After what?
that was the top name.
All right, let me know, guys, whenever you're done. All right, so here, animal, dog. And why is it red here, guys? Super, because this part is already done in the parent class. It's done here already. So we just need to reuse it. Super name. And one more thing, guys. You cannot create a code before the super. You cannot. First, super comes and then only other code. So you cannot call here something or create here before the super.
Like giving privileges, yeah?
Yeah, it's a priority here. So this super should be first. And then all other methods, like maybe this age and age. So, all right. What does super keyword, guys? Keyword super. What? We also used it in other package, yeah, with it student? I believe it was student, so we used it there. So why or what is a super keyword? What does it do?
Parent constructor.
It's a special keyword to call parents constructor or methods. So it's a special keyword to call parents constructor. And it should always come first in the here in the docs constructor or in the subclasses constructors. It should always come here. All right, have you copied, guys, this? All right, next. So it's a very quick thing, guys. It's a very quick thing. So let me do this. Here in the animal class, let's create here some method. Public void sleep. Sleep. And then let's display here sleeping. Sleeping method. And then all right, so here in the main, What do you think? Can this doc object call sleep method? Yeah. Doc sleep, yeah. So why we can do it, guys? Why we can call sleep? It was not defined in the doc class. It's inherited, yeah? All right. Then this, guys. Is this a method? What do you think? Is this a method? Yeah, I don't ask like whether does it belong to doc or animal? Is this a method? What do you think? It's a method. It's a method. But did we define this method in the doc or animal classes? No. So we get it from other class, So by default, each class in Java, they all inherit one class called object. So imagine here we have something like extends object. Imagine we have it, but we don't see it. It's invisible. It's always there. And why is it yellow? Because it tells us that it already extends it. You don't need to. Or if we come here, extends object, it tells us it already extends object. All right, let's see at this object class. There is an object class. And if you take a look at here, at this, here we have a hash code method. This is a method, hash code. So if by default all classes inherit object class, and inside that object class we have hash code method, can doc object access that hash code method? Always on top of this person, it's only in Java. So here we have, what's the class? Class name is object. There's always a class called object, but we don't see it. It's done automatically. You don't need to inherit it. By default, person, student, all of them, they inherit object. And inside the object, we have some properties and methods. We have method like toString. We have equals. We have hash code. What do you think? Did we create inside the doc class method equals? No, it's not created. Okay, from where this doc object inherits this equals method? From object class that we don't see. It's inherited automatically. How about this method, toString? Where this toString method is created? Do we have it here? No. Here, no. So where is this toString method? It's in the object class. So if I will ask you this, there is some method, or not method, a class, which is parent for all classes in Java. Which class I'm talking about? It's object class. It's object class. All right. So here, guys, next. Let's create here, guys, create a package called student. Create a package called student. Create a package called student. Next, right after you created it, in that package, inside that package, create a class called, what could be on top of student class? Person, yeah. Create a class called person with this name and age properties. Create constructor in the person class. Create constructor in the person class. Next. Next. Create a method. Create a method. Show person info. Public void show person info. And this method, it displays name and age. It should display name and age. Then step number 5 is to create a subclass. Create a subclass that inherits person. And then inside this person class, we have its own properties. The properties are school name and GPA. Okay, and then create a constructor for create a student. Sorry, here it should be student. Create a student subclass. Create a constructor for student class. And step number 7, create a main class and a main method. In the main, create object of student class. And call show person info method. These are the steps.
We have 1, 2 class here, meaning the student and person.
Student, person, and the third one will be main.
Main.
Yeah. All right, have you done, guys? So here you have a school package. What should be created inside the person, guys?
Person, name, age.
Name, int, age.
Only, yeah? Name and age only. Okay. Inside the student.
School name.
Mm-hmm.
GPA.
And GPA. And constructor. Okay. And then here. Okay, so in the person class, you have a constructor, and inside the student class, you should have a constructor and call this super constructor. Can we call it after these two lines, after line 9? Can we call it somewhere here?
No.
It should be called every time as the first line in the constructor. JPA, school name, this, and then here in the main method, what was your task? Is to
Student that show.
So you need to create a method, yeah, inside the student. There should be a method here. All right, this method's name is show person info. And then here we need to display all information about this student. Student's name, age, GPA, and school name. All right, here in the main method, we can call this method show person info. This, and it displays everything about the student. What do you think? If we create here an object of person class, will we be able to call this show person info? If you create here an object of person class, can you call on that person object show person info? Yes. Why?
Method belongs to person,
This method belongs to student.
student.
Yeah, so it
Oh,
belongs to in the main create object of student class and call show person info. So where is this show person info? It should be in the actually it should be in the person. Yeah, why you didn't tell me?
I thought that was wrong.
Yeah, so
Okay, so it should be inside the
person.
person. Yeah, it should be here. So if we create an object of person, we can call it, yeah? We can call here person, and we can call here this method because it's owned by person. Next. So this one should be pretty interesting. Or this one, guys. Let me take a look. You have only two packages, right? Or three? How many packages?
Three.
Animal, school, and vehicle, yeah? So package number 3. Number,
Student also use
yeah, so you have animals.
animal and car.
Do you have student?
Yeah.
Animal is student,
have
yeah.
in school package, we have student.
So do you have 3 or 4?
Three.
3, okay. So I think 3, it's okay if you have 4 even. So this here, create a package called employees. Create a package called employees. And these are the steps. So here, step number 1, create a class called employee with these properties: employee ID, name, salary. And then here, this employee class will own 2 methods. increase salary, and then calculate yearly bonus. So first create this employee class. These are the attributes. And step number 4, create this method. Step number 5, create this method. Create the class employee, this properties, and then make sure you create the constructor as well. Create its constructor. Open what? While others are doing this, I can help you. So what's wrong here?
So you didn't create a student's process.
The constructor name is wrong. Should be person. So for now, can you do this? So it should be inside here. There should be a package. Vehicle. And right now, can you create this package employees?
That's the ID. So
Yeah, it's employee ID.
it's a class or it's just little bit in the employee.
It's
class?
properties.
Ah, I see, I see.
Increase salary method is inside of the
Employees class.
employee's class.
Yeah, should be inside the employees class.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
This increased salary method, it's a void type, right?
Yeah, it should be public void. And the other one as well. All right, you can do this. You can create only one method, increase salary. And step number 6 is create a subclass called manager, and it inherits from employee class.
It's a new task, yeah?
No, it's the other steps, following steps. Step number, where is it?
We are also creating new class, yeah? Or just
Yeah, create a new subclass, manager, and it inherits from employee. All right, have you done this all 8 steps?
not at all.
Not at all.
Till 7.
Okay, till 7. Okay, so here, let me quickly catch you up. So here, what was the package name?
Please.
Employees. Employee. In the employee class, what are the properties? Employee ID,
Name and salary.
name, and salary. Okay, and then there should be a constructor, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then there should be a method, right?
Yes,
Method's name,
increase salary.
increase salary, and it accepts some amount. Double amount. And when you call this salary, this amount should increase this salary, right? This one. So salary plus equal amount. So this is how it increases the salary. And then here in this step, yeah, prints the new salary. Okay, system out print line, new salary is salary. Or it could be a different message as well, like salary is increased by amount. And there you should have one more method. Method's name is calculate yearly bonus. What's an yearly bonus? Yearly bonus, it's 10% of the current salary. So public void, and it is calculate yearly bonus. And how do we calculate the yearly bonus? Yearly bonus is equal to salary divided by, we can do this. Let's do this. Salary divided by 10. So salary is divided by 10 equal to our yearly bonus. Yearly bonus. All right. So at this step, guys, can we create the main method and object of employee there? Is it possible?
Yes.
Can we? Yeah. Let me create here main. It's next. So what's the subclass for this employee class?
Manager.
It's a manager, right? Manager. And this manager, how do we define this inheritance? Extends employee. All right. And why is it red now? Yeah, we must create the constructor. That's why it shows this red line. All right, what's the property of manager? Manager specific.
Department.
String department. Okay. String department. And then we create the constructor. Public. And what are the properties accepted by the manager part? Employee ID. Name. Double salary and department. And then what's the first thing we do in this constructor?
Super.
We call parents constructor super, employee ID, name, salary. And then we assign this manager specific property. This department. And then was there one more step, guys, after this constructor? It was public void schedule meeting. And what does it accept? Yeah, it should be string time. All right, and manager is the only person who can schedule the time. Regular employee cannot. It should be a manager. So here we can display scheduled a meeting at, and then this time. All right, now in the main method, let's create this object together. We create here an object of manager. We create an object of manager, new manager, and we pass this parameters. ID should be M456. Then name should be Smith. Salary is 80,000. Salary is 80,000. Then department is IT. All right, which methods we can call through this object?
Schedule a meeting.
We can call all of these three methods, yeah? Because manager inherits them from its parent. So let's call increase salary 10,000. So after we increase the salary, what's the yearly bonus for this manager? It should be 9,000, 10% of 90, because we increased the salary by 10,000. Next, display this one. Call this schedule meeting. So schedule meeting is manager specific method. It's created inside the manager class. And then here we pass 12 p.m. And then if you run this main, it should display new salary 90,000 because we increased it by 10. The original was 80. Yearly bonus is 9,000. And then scheduled meeting at 12 p.m. All right, let me do this thing. So I'll do this. Do you have, guys, a link to our to the GitHub? Yesterday I sent you the link. All right, let me do this thing and then let me open that link. I sent it to our Slack group. Here, if I open this link, it shows me this. It's a project that we work on together. If I open SRC, it opens this directory. Here we have all of these projects. And which package, guys, we worked on together this day? It's day 49. And then here is the employees package. And the code is here already. Main, employee, and manager. All right, so tomorrow on Friday, you will be practicing these classes. And then on Monday, we're gonna have together a quiz. A quiz